like James Hetfield a little more, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Failure to comply.
While we're waiting for this contest to get started, I'd like both sides, BFA and Middlebury, to acknowledge and thank our BFA boosters for their continued hard work and support of the BFA community. Round of applause, please. Would the captains for both the BFA bobwhites and Middlebury Tigers please report to the middle of the field for the pregame coin toss and meeting with the refs. Tonight's contest would not be possible without our officials. We'd like to thank and welcome Mr. Bashon, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Dusaplon, Mr. Jeffrey Stebbins, and Mr. Lizardo. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, hey, I didn't even see you guys. I didn't even see you guys. I'm like, this is a spot for me. I was going to say, excuse me, can you roll a part by?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute, you were supposed to do 2 days work and 4 days of fun. I knew it wouldn't work that way. Kids are a little more unique.
Live from the Collins Pearly Sports Center, you're watching BFA Bob White football. Good afternoon, everyone. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand as the BFA Bob Whites play host for their home opener to the Middlebury Tigers. Anthony, should be a fun one this evening. Middlebury has just won the coin toss. They've elected to defer to the second half, but the Tigers come in to tonight's contest 2-0. And certainly be a challenging matchup here for the Bob Whites.
Yeah, Middlebury's coming in, like you said, 2 solid wins. BFA's coming off that tough loss on the road to Hartford. One thing noticing out of BFA's first 2 games, defense has been playing pretty well, only giving up really 2 scores. Hartford got a third one last week on an 80-yard pass when everybody thought they were going to run. So their defense has been playing well. The only question coming into today is what can their offense do? First game, they scored 4 total touchdowns over their 2 games so far, but 2 have come on special teams. So really only 2 offensive touchdowns over 2 games. So it's going to be a tough to see if they can get that rolling today against a good Middlebury team.
And the challenge will certainly be this Tiger defense. So in the 2 games so far this season, Middlebury has given up 0 points.
Yeah, and that's it's going to be the key here is for BFA to really start rolling. You know, kind of just had a couple years ago, had a couple slow starts that really hurt them in a couple games, so they need to get them out quick tonight.
With that, we'll pause momentarily here for the national anthem. everyone here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand. Again, the home opener for the Bobwhites come in 1-1 overall, facing off against the 2-0 Middlebury Tigers. Anthony, the Tigers historically very active running the football, and taking a look at last week when they faced off against Burlington / South Burlington, ran the ball 41 times for 220 yards.
Yeah, and they're one of those teams, they're almost like similar to BFA where they don't ever really want to throw. They want to just pound it down your throat, take off a lot of time with every drive, and kind of impose their will on opposing defenses, and that's what they do. They have a lot of, they're fast off the ball, and they have a lot of kind of trick stuff out on the backfield, so they do a really good job kind of pounding it down the defense.
Now, although the Bobwhites only came away with that one special teams touchdown last week, sounded like they were able to move the football a little bit more last week against Hartford as compared against MMU, just weren't able to punch the ball into the end zone.
Yeah, and unfortunately late in that game, they had a touchdown that looked like it equalized it, but then a block in the back call late ended up negating that, and then they ended up turning it over on downs, and Hartford ended up scoring to kind of seal that win last week. So they're right there with Hartford, who I would say is one of the top teams in the state. So, I mean, they went toe-to-toe down in Hartford.
I mean, back in week one, Hartford absolutely blew out St. Johnsbury, which I don't think anybody saw coming.
No, I mean, Hartford's definitely, I'd say, right up there with this Middlebury team.
All right, line drive, kick over on the far side of the field. It's going to take a hop and picked up by Tiffler. He races here to the near side, looking for a corner, turns it upfield, and finally wrapped up down around his own 26-yard line. So Michael Tilfer on, call it about a 10-yard kickoff return, and the BFA offense will take the field. Now, Anthony, the Bobwhites this year doing things a little bit different out of the wing tee, running most of the time their quarterback, Cole Montang, out of the shotgun formation.
Yeah, he's a super athletic kid, so not a bad idea there. Super athletic, has a good arm to him, can scramble, and can design a lot of plays with him back there.
Two receivers set. That's Colby Williams split out wide here to the near side. Again, Montang now up under center. There's a snap, handoff straight ahead for a couple on the play. That's number 41, Seneca DeRocher, sophomore, has a couple of touchdowns on the season.
And that's someone to keep an eye out. He was an absolutely outstanding quarterback at the youth level for the Steelers, and he's, as you mentioned, made a couple of really good plays, special teams so far for the team.
Officials credit him 5 yards for the carry. That sets up a manageable 2nd and 5 at the BFA 31-yard line. Again, Montang up under center, two receiver set. Now we got motion by Dakota Rye. Rye will take the handoff, looks for a bit of a seam, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe able to wiggle for a couple more. Is going to set up a 3rd and about 4 for BFA.
And that's somebody else to keep an eye out. Rye with a couple of touchdowns in that first game against MMU. Big physical kid. He's got speed in open field, but he's not afraid to lay that shoulder down either.
Showed off some beautiful hands on a couple of gorgeous receptions against the Cougars in the opening week. Led to a couple of BFA Bobwhite touchdowns.
And if you look at this Middlebury defensive line, they're not huge, but they're quick off the ball. So if you're BFA, you got to get quick off that ball, else they're just going to beat you to that hole.
Colby Williams splits out wide here to the near side. Now the Bobwhites do drop out into shotgun formation. That's Dakota Ryan motion. They hand off straight ahead to Seneca DeRocher, and he's going to be just short of the first down, looking at a 4th and 1 here for the Bobwhites, maybe 4th and 1.5 at their own 35-yard line. And one has to expect, Anthony, that Bobwhites will punt away.
Yeah, this deep in their zone. Don't want to give Middlebury too good a field position to start off this game.
So DeRocher drops back. He'll stand at his own 20-yard line to punt away. So it looks like it'll be a 4-and-out series here for the Bobwhite offense. 10 minutes remaining here. Now we've got motion as the Bobwhites see what they do. Bring it in tight. They still leave DeRocher back there to kick on a 4th and 1. Now we've got a whistle on the field and a delay a game called against the BFA special teams unit.
Yeah, you got to wonder if they maybe had something set up there and maybe it just took too long. That's kind of the nice thing when your punter has experience as a quarterback, as DeRocher does. You could always pull out the trick stuff. Not sure if that's what they're doing there or if they just saw something they didn't like out there.
A little bit of a breeze here at the Collins Pearly this evening. Snap, DeRocher gets it down. Wind to DeRocher's back. High, beautiful, end-over-end tick. It's a ball is going to roll and is going to stop at the 1-yard line. He picks it up, and BFA ball is down at the 1. Jordan Martin thought that was going to roll into the end zone for the Tigers. But again, Seneca DeRocher, beautiful punt. Couldn't have planned that any better.
From how deep he was in his own zone, he's setting up about his 22-yard line. That's a heck of a punt from a high schooler.
So Tigers offense hits the field for the first time. 9:37 remaining in the first quarter. Ball will be spotted officially at the Middlebury 2-yard line. We'll see who the Tigers roll out here at quarterback. Looks to be number 13, the senior, Ryan Thomas Denoy. So Denoy up under center, 3 men in the backfield, fullback and 2 tailbacks. Then hand it off to the second man through here to the near side, and not a lot of running room. Tigers able to pick up 3 on the carry. Looked like that was maybe Brian Whiteley on the carry. Call it 2. And Anthony, it looks like at least early on here, Bob White's defensively coming out in a 5-4 defense.
Yeah, and with this wishbone, that's what you got to do. Is you got to seal those gaps. They're going to send 3 running backs at you and give it with 2 lead blockers. So you got to really seal those gaps and meet them at the line.
Motion in the backfield by Austin Neal. Austin Neal takes the handoff. Not a lot of room. Maybe a pickup of 1. It's going to set up a 3rd and long here for the Tigers. Call it 3rd and 7. And again, so far in this early season, this is not a position this Tiger offense has been in thus far.
No, and that, I mean, as we said, credit to BFA's defense doing phenomenal between the shutout and the first game against MMU, and playing toe-to-toe with Hartford. So especially going 3 and out in their offensive drive, it'd be huge for a big stand for BFA defensively here.
Ball spotted at the 5-yard line. They need to hit their own 11 to pick up the first down. Thomas Denoy up under center, motion again in the backfield here by the Tigers. Handoff's going to be a counter on the far side of the field. Breaks 1 tackle, but not enough for the first down. That was Nick Austin Neal on the carry. Give him 5 yards, but he needed 6. And it looked like the Tigers will be forced to punt away.
Yeah, and good job by BFA's defense right there, seeking out that little misdirection right there in the counter. It looked like they were just trying to dive it up the middle, but doing a good job on the counter, and BFA doing a good job staying home.
4th and 1 here for the Tigers. Heading back deep for BFA on the punt return is Liam Wood. Wood seems to be setting up around the Tiger 41-yard line. Late substitution in here for the Tigers as well. Dropping back, Cameron Stone to punt away. Now we've got a whistle on the field, and we'll see if Tigers call a timeout, as they were taking a lot of time. And indeed, we will see our first timeout here of the evening.
And here we are in our first timeout.
Taking a look at our out-of-town games this evening. Hartford up in Chittenden County taking on that South Burlington squad. The Seahorses, or what do they go by now?
Seawolves.
Seawolves, thank you. That's who the Bobwhites will be playing on the road next Friday night. Rutland at Mount Anthony, North Country hosting Brattleboro. Spalding at U32, Mount Mansfield at Essex. That should be a fun one to watch. And St. Johnsbury holding Colchester. All those games taking place this Friday evening in Vermont high school football. All right, back out on the field here at the Collins Pearly. Liam Wood stands back at around his own the Middlebury 45-yard line. Stone in his own end zone. There's the snap. Gets it away. Short end-over-end kick. And it's going to take a hop and a Bob White roll, and Middlebury going to be forced to down that at their own 23-yard line.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting right there. The Middlebury player, Gunnar, had no idea where it was, kind of hit off him and went in a favorable bounce for BFA. So, great field position right here for BFA.
Officials will mark it down right inside the 25-yard line of Middlebury. So, great field position here for the Bob White second offensive series of the evening.
It's be important to make something happen here with such good field position after that big stop.
It's almost like a turnover.
Yeah.
So Bob White's back to the shotgun here with quarterback Cole Montang. Hands off to DeRocher. DeRocher turns upfield, gets back to the original line of scrimmage for no gain. We'll set up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, right now, Middlebury's just doing a good job on that defensive front, just getting off the ball a bit quicker than BFA, especially with these couple of misdirections. BFA linemen are going to have to do a little bit better job getting off the ball.
7:18 remaining here in the first quarter. 0-0 our score. Again, home opener for the Bob Whites here this evening. Bob Whites break the huddle. Thomas Demur lines up wide here to the near side. Looks like a trips formation here to the near side. Again, Montang shotgun formation. There's a snap. A little quick pitch here and nowhere to run for Seneca DeRocher. Turns around in circles. In fact, it's going to be a loss of 3 on the carry.
Yeah, that's a good job by Kagan Besser-Jones for Middlebury, sneaking that out, making his blocker miss and getting him in the backfield.
So bobwhites, who may have been just within field goal range at the start of this drive, probably out of field goal range now with the ball at the Tiger 30-yard line.
Yeah, it took a little bit for that kind of pitch to get going right there, so Middlebury doing a good job kind of sneaking it out.
Thomas Demers splits out wide here to the near side. That's Dakota Rye, the slot man here to the near side. And we got motion, I believe, by BFA. Let's see. And indeed, that is the timeout. Timeout. So Bob White coaching staff saw something they didn't like, use one of their 3 timeouts to regroup here on the near side. Anthony, your thoughts here early in the first quarter?
Yeah, it looked like right there, it looked like Middlebury was setting the house, so maybe BFA didn't like the play that they had drawn up there. But yeah, as we said before, BFA's defense has been good all year. They did a good job on that first drive, and now the offense just needs to reward the good stop there. If they come away with no points, it's going to be huge and really swing the momentum back to Middlebury's side if Middlebury's able to come up with a stop here. It's obviously 4-down territory at their own 30 right now, but 3rd and 15, they got to make at least good chunk of yardage getting back here.
Excellent crowd here on hand this Friday evening at the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. So here we go, back out on the field. 3rd and 15 here for the Bobwhites. 2 receivers set here to the near side. That's Colby Williams split out wide. Montaigne looking downfield, airs it out into the end zone, and Williams has it! Incomplete, drops out as Williams was coming down into the end zone, lands on his back, and that popped the football loose, Anthony.
Yeah, it's interesting. I couldn't quite see if there was maybe a little bit of contact there because the defender didn't turn around at all.
Taking a look on our instant replay, you'll see Williams makes a nice adjustment and comes down with it, but by hitting the ground, that knocks the ball loose. And we'll see what head coach Jeff Murray decides to dial up on 4th and 15 at the Tiger 30-yard line.
Yeah, you got to figure it's going to be another similar play right there. You need 15 yards. Really need to make sure you get it to the sticks. A short pass here doesn't do much for BFA.
DeMar splits out wide to the far side. Williams also on that far side, and Rye. Montaigne rolls that side. Now he looks, stops, fires it high, deep towards the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown, BFA! Dakota Rye comes down with it in the end zone, and the Bobwhites convert on a huge 4th and 15.
That was just a perfect pass by Cole Montaigne there. He had a defender coming right onto him, and good job by Dakota Rye getting behind the defender. Defender looked like he had a good line on it, but just completely undercut it.
Take a look at our handy Toyota replay here as we see Montaigne throw it deep. Rye just into the end zone, comes down with it for the 6 points. Gavin Frady's on the attempt the PAT, gets the kick up, and Frady's kick is good. Our score with 6:01 remaining here in the first quarter, BFA 7, Middlebury 0. You're watching BFA Bob White football on a Northwest Access TV. Dakota Rye. All right, welcome back, everyone. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor here on hand. The Bobwhites with a 7-0 lead. And, Anthony, this is a position that's new to the Tigers this season.
Yeah, that's exactly what BFA wanted after the big stop by their defense. It looked like they were scared getting almost coming away with nothing, getting down 4th and long. And, as we said, perfect pass by Cole Montaigne, and good job by Dakota Rye getting behind the defender who kind of over-pursued the ball in the air there. Appears to be a full moon making its way out over the Collins Pearly here this evening. Certainly has been a scary start for the Tigers. Yeah, not exactly, as you said, not what they're used to.
High end-over-end kick on the far side, fielded by Whitley, who had troubles fielding that, now bunts it out to the outside, has a little bit of rain, turns the field, now wrapped up by a host of Bobwhites. But a good starting field position here for the Tigers at their own 35.
Yeah, that's a huge play there by him to pick it up and actually make a decent return out of it, because if Middlebury starts on deep in their zone again, that's just giving BFA more momentum.
So 1st and 10 here for the Tigers. First time they've trailed all season. In fact, that's the first time the Middlebury defense has given up a touchdown in 3 games.
And that's huge for BFA. Show them some diversity and see how they handle it.
Motion in the backfield here. Snap, handoff straight ahead to the fullback, Nicholas Lukish. Lukish, the fullback, nice 5 yards. If you're the Tigers, that's what you love to see on first down.
Yeah, just build up those chunk yards and keep it going. 4 yards of play, get you a first down.
Sets up a 2nd and 5, ball at the Tiger 40-yard line. Lukish lines up directly behind his quarterback. Motion in the backfield. Counter handoff here to the near side and snuffed out nicely by the Bobwhites. Number 24, Colby Williams, in on the tackle. That was Brian Whiteley on the tackle.
And that was
or on the run, sorry.
That was a good job by Williams coming up, not being fooled by the misdirection, coming up and making the play.
Sets up a 3rd and call it 4 here for Middlebury's. Ball spotted at their own 41-yard line. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. BFA with a 7-0 lead. Austin Neal, slot on the near side, run a man in motion. Play action pass, dropping back, lofts it over the middle, and incomplete. Pass intended for number, let's see if we can get a number here, number 10, Penn Riney. And we'll see what the Tigers do on 4th and 4 here.
That's going to be the one thing for BFA. Yeah, Middlebury's going to run a lot, but they got to make sure they don't get complacent and forget about the pass. Almost snuck one around right there.
Liam Wood drops back deep once again for BFA. Again, Tigers punting into a bit of a breeze here. Wood settles down. High snap over his head. Bobwhites all sorts of pressure. Ball is still loose and down at the 15-yard line. Number 79, their punter, Sawyer Cordrat, had that one go high over his head, and the Bobwhites, Anthony, will start off in tremendous field position for the 2nd consecutive drive.
Yeah, and that's huge right there. I don't know if Middlebury constantly switches punters, but it's a little different that you saw that right there. And maybe that's just not the center, the long snapper and the punter not having a good connection right there. But again, huge for BFA. Maybe Tigers feeling that adversity that they haven't felt all season.
1st and 10 here for the Bobwhites. Shotgun formation for Cole Montang. Colby Williams splits out wide to the far side. That's Dakota Rye in the slot on the far side. Montang looks towards the end zone, fires it in the end zone, and incomplete pass intended for Williams in that far corner.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had him. It looked like Williams might have stumbled a little bit. That kind of slowed him down, but not a bad idea, putting it only where his guy could get it.
Clock will stop with 4:28 here in the first quarter with the incompletion. Again, the Bobwhites coming into tonight's game. A tough road loss last week against Hartford, and again, the Tigers rolling into the Collins Pearly this evening, 2-0.
Yeah, and obviously that good competition maybe really woke BFA up and got them ready for this game, especially being a home opener.
Williams splits out wide to the far side. Avery Smith, wingback here to the near side. Handoff goes to Seneca DeRocher, makes one tackler miss, and able to pick up a couple. Not a whole lot of running room, but Seneca DeRocher kept his feet moving, so turned what may have been a negative into a positive, Anthony.
Yeah, and right now, Middlebury's doing a good job getting off the ball, really beating those offensive linemen for BFA off the ball, so not getting a lot of running room. So maybe you'll start seeing BFA maybe go more towards the passing game, make them start respecting the pass a little bit more, and open things up in the middle for the running game.
3rd and 8, ball at the 15, so I would say certainly if the Bobwhites don't convert, they're currently in field goal territory. Montang calls his own number, not able to, well, he does break the tackle, now looking to make outside, fires it in, is incomplete. Looking for Dakota Rye. Was also looking to see if any offensive linemen made it downfield, but nobody. So 4th and 8, and we may see our first field goal attempt of the game.
Yeah, good job by Cole Montang, just getting rid of the ball, not taking the loss of anything and putting him in a harder field goal range.
So Gavin Frades is out to attempt the field goal attempt. That's Colby Williams that will hold. And this looks to be a 31-yard attempt, and it is far enough, but it looks to be wide right. So the 31-yard field goal, no good. And the Bobwhites come away empty-handed after that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's tough for them because if they score right there, they put Middlebury in a very tough spot. Now it kind of opens things up where if Middlebury puts a drive together and gets a score here, now they're right back in it.
So with a missed field goal, the ball will be respotted at the Middlebury 20-yard line. 3:37 remaining in the first quarter. 7-0 BFA. Again, bobwhites look to be in a 5-4 base defense here this evening. Ryan Thomas Denoy up under center. We've got motion in the backfield. Denoy hands off to the second back through. Not a whole lot of room there. Maybe a pickup of 1 or 2. That was Nick Lukish on the carry. Well, they give him 3 on the carry.
And that's going to be a big key for BFA. They're going to try and these dives, and then they also have it looks like they're trying to run almost like a triple option where the quarterback has the option to pull it out of the fullback's stomach. So the ends have to stay home for BFA and respect the outside game too.
Sets up a 2nd and 6. Long count for the Tigers. Quarterback keeper on the far side and nowhere to run. Well defended. Well, they'll give him a couple more on the carry, but overall, Anthony, well defended by the defensive end on the far side.
Yeah, that was a good job. It looked like that was Justin Brown on the outside who got a piece of him, and the quarterback was able to just kind of fall forward for a few yards, but good job keeping him limited there.
3rd and 3. Tigers have yet to convert for a first down here in the first quarter. Long count. Going to be a sweep here to the near side, and the bobwhites blow that up in the backfield. James Harrison with a big tackle and loss for that bobwhite defense.
Yeah, and that was huge by Harrison. I coached him down at Steelers, and even as a 5th grader, he's one of the most fundamentally sound players you'll see out there, and just a great job from a linebacker sniffing that out and going in the backfield and getting that tackle.
That's a loss of 5 on the play. Will force the Tigers to punt for the 3rd time this quarter, looking at a 4th and 9. We see a change in punter once again. Cameron Stone goes back in after that last punt. Stone's punt this time a little better than his first. Hops at the Tiger 45-yard line, and it will be down quickly there by Middlebury.
That was a huge stop by BFA. It looked like Middlebury might get their first down of the game, and good job by BFA shutting that down and not letting them start building any momentum.
So bobwhites 1st and 10 at the Middlebury 45-yard line. This will be the bobwhites' 3rd time here in the first quarter, Anthony, starting in Tiger territory.
And that's huge. I mean, if you can start on their side every time, that's huge for BFA, especially when, as we mentioned before, a couple years ago, they're kind of known for their slower starts.
Colby Williams splits out wide here near side. 4 receivers set for the bobwhites. High snap. Montaigne calls his own number. Stutter steps. Not quite able to make it around the defensive end. Number 24, Brady McDonough, who made the tackle. Montaigne almost broke that free, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's what BFA's got to do. They got to start getting the quick plays going out there because anything that takes a while to develop, it looks like Middlebury's doing a really good job just snuffing it out and getting in the backfield. So maybe you see something like a slant or something right here, something that's really quick off the ball for BFA to try and catch him off guard.
2nd and 9, so it was a pickup of call at 1. Again, bobwhites look to spread out the field, shotgun formation, 4 receiver set. Again, that's Williams split out wide here to the near side. That's Dakota Ryan motion. He'll take the handoff on the jet play, turns the corner, and nowhere to go. Beautiful containment there by number 5, Nick Austin Neal.
Yeah, it was a good job. It looked like Ryan might break it out, but then he just kind of reached out and just grabbed him. So good job pulling him down basically with one arm.
Not a lot of people can bring down Dakota Ryan with one arm, that's for sure.
No, and right now it just looks like Middlebury is just kind of selling out for that run. As soon as they see any sort of a handoff, everybody's going in the backfield. So maybe you might see a little bit of a play action here, try to catch him off balance.
Sets up a 3rd and 11. Cole Montaigne now just getting into the huddle. They'll have to call this play quickly here. Ball spotted at the Tiger 47-yard line. Trips formation here to the near side. Now we're going to have a timeout, I believe, taken by BFA, their 2nd of the game. And, Anthony, I just think that play call took a little too long getting into the huddle.
Yeah, you can see the back judge start counting down for the delay of game call. So good job by Coach Murray to get the timeout, get his offense ready and not rush into the line and make sure they don't take a delay of game, especially here. I mean, this is a huge play between this and 4th down if they don't make it, because if they can put something together, make it a 2-score game heading into the 2nd quarter, then that's huge for BFA.
Now the Tiger defense, which again hasn't, if you're just tuning in, hasn't allowed a touchdown this year until tonight. Bobwhites have not been able to run the ball. It's basically been one big pass play on a 4th and long that BFA converted. So their success thus far has been in the air.
Yeah, Middlebury's linebackers are doing a good job. As soon as they see that ball handed off anywhere, they're doing a good job flying in. So this is where any sort of maybe a misdirection or any sort of a quick pass might really catch them off guard if they're selling out for that run.
10 seconds remaining. So depending upon how long this play takes, we'll see. I'll come back to that after this play. Montang sprints here to the near side. Now he looks to throw it, fires it downfield, and it's going to be incomplete as 2 Tigers go up for it and negate the interception. Number 4, Nikola Lukic, had a beat on it, and what I was going to say, 3 seconds left. Certainly you want BFA to get that touchdown, or certainly a touchdown, but that first down. The one potential positive here with 3 seconds, BFA is going to be punting with the wind to their back here.
Yep, and see if they can pin them down deep again and
right.
then really, really change that field possession if the defense can come up again.
So the one benefit by having a little time left on here in the first quarter, as BFA will once again with Seneca DeRocher look to pin them back. High end over kick by DeRocher. Going to be fielded. Ball is loose. It was tipped. The ball's live, and Middlebury recovers at the 6-yard line. So a house of horrors so far for the Tigers here in the first quarter. That will do it for the first quarter. Our score, BFA 7, Middlebury 0. You're watching BFA Bob White football on Northwest Access TV. All right, welcome back, everyone. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand. Anthony, your thoughts about the first quarter?
Defenses were great. I mean, BFA obviously really pinning Middlebury back and, not allowing Middlebury to get a first down in that entire first quarter. Special teams has been a disaster for Middlebury, which is really hurting them and not giving their offense any help whatsoever. But you got to give credit to Middlebury's defense for how good BFA's field position has been. They've only had that one big play as BFA that went for the touchdown. So good job from Middlebury keeping them really in this game.
Tigers keep this one on the ground to the far side of the field. Positive pickup of 5 on the play, setting up a manageable 2nd and 5 for Middlebury. Call it down at around the 10, 15, call it 15-yard line.
It's going to be big for BFA here again to make another stop, especially this deep, and really change that field position again and hopefully capitalize when they get the ball again.
Tigers trying to change up the momentum here, right to the line of scrimmage. No huddle here for that Middlebury offense. Handoff on the far side, and that seems to do the trick as they pick up their first down of the evening.
Yeah, again, that's going to be huge for BFA, really containing them to the inside right there. They're able to get off tackle and break it to the outside a little bit. So BFA's ends are going to really have to do a good job keeping them inside and forcing them into that 5-man front.
Of course, head coach Dennis Smith will be looking where he can exploit this BFA defense. Again, Bob Whites came out in a 5-4 in this game, and Coach Smith has now seen that for the first quarter. I'm sure he'll look to make some changes. Snap over on the far side of the field. That's Brian Whiteley, and Whiteley's going to be close to a first down once again here for Middlebury.
Yeah, we saw Middlebury there coming back out of the wishbone, just setting 2 lead blockers there for Whiteley and getting a 9-yard pickup.
Got a whistle on the far side, as it looks like they'll do a potential measurement here. You're looking at a 2nd and 1 or a first down for the Tigers. So, again, Middlebury hadn't picked up a first down at all in the first quarter. Looks to be picking up their second. In fact, they do have their second of the second quarter.
And that's huge if you're Middlebury, just to come in and try and start building some sort of momentum on offense.
10:36 remaining here in the second quarter. If you're just tuning in, BFA 7, Middlebury 0. Bob White scoring on a 4th and 15 on their second offensive possession of the game. Big conversion. Tigers now look to spread things out a bit. Thomas Denoy takes the snap and handoff straight ahead to Lukish. Lukish calls it a pickup of 4 by the officials, sets up a 2nd and 6.
And good job by BFA defender really snuffing that out. Looked like Middlebury was just dive and then almost faking that misdirection, but BFA, good job by BFA staying home.
2nd and 6. Again, the Tigers last week running the football 41 times for over 200 yards. Thomas Denoy, long count, motion in the backfield. Handoff will go to the second man through. That's Whitley, and he'll be stood up after a minimal gain. We'll set up a 3rd and short here for the Tigers at their own 40-yard line.
It's almost like Middlebury is running almost the same play, just out of different packages. Instead of having the wishbone set up in the backfield, they bring a guy in motion, and then he'll have 2 lead blockers anyways, like they would have in the wishbone anyway. So just almost running the same plays, just giving different looks and trying to keep BFA off guard.
Thomas Deneau up under center. 3rd and call it 2. Long count, motion in the backfield again by Whitley. Handoff straight ahead to the fullback, though, Lukish, and he's going to be close to the first down. And indeed, he has just enough. First down, Tigers. As offensively, they've seemed to settle down here, Anthony, in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need coming out in the second, is to start imposing their will a little bit on BFA's defense, give their defense a little bit of a breather, and try to tire out BFA's.
Wishbone backfield here. Thomas Denoy. There's a snap. Play action, back to pass. Looking downfield, airs it out, whiffs the ball, and incomplete. Good coverage downfield by Liam Wood of BFA.
Yeah,
pass intended for Penn Riney.
And good. It's a good thing that it was a little bit overthrown because Riney was behind the secondary. Really only had Liam Wood back there for coverage, but it seemed like Piney had a little bit of a step on him.
Sets up a 2nd and 10. Clock will stop with an incompletion. 8:39 remaining here in the first half. 7-0 BFA. Gavin McNulty lines up the slot man here to the near side for the Tigers. McNulty's in motion. He'll take the handoff on the far side. Eludes 1 tackle. He breaks free, has the first down and more, and he'll turn it on. And McNulty will take it the distance. No, not quite. Tackled down at around the 1-yard line. So McNulty, call it a 52-yard run, not quite able to make it in. They're going to put him down right at the BFA 1-yard line. And running off the field is Seneca DeRocher, who's a bit banged up, and certainly looks like his left arm, an important component to that Bob White team.
Yeah, and good job by BFA just chasing him down and not giving up. Really a different burst of speed right there from Middlebury that we haven't seen yet this game.
Thomas Denoy taking his time, 1st and goal from the 1. Hands off into the second man through, and he is in. McNulty for the Tiger touchdown. So McNulty, after his big run, they go right back to big number 20 for 6 points, and the Tigers are on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's just a good drive by Middlebury for how far they had to start down in their own zone to drive the length of the field.
Take a look at the instant replay here, courtesy of Northwest Access TV. And it looks like they will go for 1. Lukish to attempt the PAT. There's a snap. Lukish's kick is up, and it is good. Our score with 8:09 remaining in the first half, BFA 7, Middlebury 7. You're watching BFA Bob White football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand in the second quarter as the Tigers have responded to knot things at 7. Anthony, your thoughts on that Tiger drive?
I mean, it's exactly what they needed. Their defense has been standing on their heads for how good of a field position BFA had that entire time to come down and keep this game tied now.
Line drive, kick here to the near side, fielded by Tilfer. Tilfer makes one player miss, now takes it to the outside, turns on the afterburners, and gets to about the 30-yard line. So, Bob White offense out on the field, see what they can get going.
Yeah, this could be an important drive for BFA. They almost left Middlebury in this game when they could have really capitalized. If they score on one or two of those possessions when they had it deep in Middlebury territory, they'd be a lot more comfortable. Now it's all tied up, so you got to hope that those don't come back to bite BFA.
Seneca DeRocher over on the sideline. Again, he was banged up. He was in on the kick return. Back in at the tailback position is Sean Beauregard, lined up beside his quarterback, Montaigne, who calls his own number, drives ahead, and Montaigne called for a pickup of 3 on the carry.
That's going to be big for BFA. We saw anything that takes a little bit of time to develop, Middlebury's just snuffing it out real quick in the backfield. So there's going to be these quick plays that take no time to develop are going to be key for BFA.
Sets up a 2nd and 7. Ball spotted at around the BFA 29. 2 receivers set here to the near side. That's Justin Brown split out wide here to the near side. Here's a snap. Pump fake, fired here to the near side. Ball is caught and losing his footing, and just staying in was number 34, Thomas Demur. So Demur able to keep his footing and pick up a couple. Is going to set up a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that's tough right there. That was a momentum kind of took him out of bounds because he kind of had the whole field in front of him. Montaigne also had Justin Brown in the middle of the field on a slant route that it seemed wide open. So that's going to be key for BFA. These quick hitters are going to make Middlebury kind of respect the pass a little bit more than they have and stop being able to load up the box so much.
So Bob White's going into a little bit of a breeze here. Thomas Demur splits out wide here to the near side. Shotgun formation for Cole Montaigne. There's a snap. Montaigne under heavy pressure under the blitz, and he is able to almost get back to the line of scrimmage, but almost like a prison break there, Anthony.
Yeah, and right now it's just Middlebury's line and linebackers are doing a much better job getting off the ball quicker than the BFA offensive line is, and they're just beating them through the holes and getting to the backfield.
So Seneca DeRocher checks back in. He's been a bit banged up. He did not play that offensive series, but he'll stand at his own 20 to punt away. Back deep, Joey Nyomo. High end over end kick by DeRocher. Beautiful. And the ball is loose on the ground, and the Tigers recover. BFA signaling they have it, but we'll see who comes up with it from the bottom of the pile. From my vantage point up here high in the press box, I thought it was the Tigers, and indeed they maintain possession. But Anthony, I mean, their punt return game has been an adventure so far tonight.
Just everything. Their punt return. I mean, the returners can't. Even on kickoffs, you've seen them kind of bobble the balls around a little bit. So Middlebury's returners are having a little bit of trouble. I mean, DeRocher with a great punt gets really a lot of hang time.
A lot of air time, yeah. Brian McDonough splits out wide here to the near side, and it's going to be a handoff straight ahead to the fullback, Lukish, and Lukish has 5 to set up a 2nd and 5 here for Middlebury.
Yeah, Middlebury just doing a good job, starting to really, push BFA back, and where BFA was doing a good job, stuffing stuff out for 1 or negative yardage. Middlebury doing a good job pushing forward now.
2nd and 5. Thomas Daniel up under center. 2 receivers set here to the near side for the Tigers. 2 receivers on the far side. Handoff straight ahead once again to the fullback, Lukish. And he's going to be stopped short of the first down. Middlebury, though, looking at a short 3rd and 1. Nose of the football looks to be right on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Middlebury just picking up those chunk yardages and really starting to tire out this BFA defense. It seems like it's starting to get a little bit of gas out there, being out there for quite a bit of time.
So here we go, 3rd and 1. Tigers taking some time with the play call. from their head coach, Dennis Smith. Now they'll head to the line. Again, 4 receivers set. The fullback, the lone man in the backfield. Now we've got a whistle, and we're going to have a timeout taken by Middlebury head coach Dennis Smith.
This is a big play here. If BFA is able to get anything for any sort of negative yardage or stop them here, to get the ball at midfield and then kind of try and change momentum, because Middlebury's really taken over here in the second quarter.
5:15 remaining in the first half. 7-7 our score here at the Collins Pearly Sports Center. Anthony, it's great to be back here seeing 11-on-11 tackle football this year, right?
Yeah.
We had to go last year 7-7, just wasn't quite the same. Certainly not the crowd that we could have last year. Full house here at the Collins Pearly.
It's just good to have somewhat of normal sports back. I mean, I came to the BFA MVU boys soccer game to kick off the season under the lights here, and just seeing a crowd here was phenomenal. Now back here, Friday night lights, as you said, back to tackle football with a huge crowd is just a great feeling, and I'm sure the players are really feeding off of this so far this year.
So defensive coordinator Rusty Brandon makes his way back here to the near sideline after huddling up with his defense. 3rd and 1 here for the Tigers. Thomas Donio with the snap. Hands off to his fullback, Lukish. Needed 1, picks up 3, and he'll have a Middlebury first down.
Yeah, right now Middlebury's not doing anything terribly creative. It's just up the middle with Lukish, and then they'll bounce it to the outside off tackle with a motion or out of the wishbone, and just really tiring out BFA's front lineman.
1st and 10 for Middlebury. Brian Whitley, slot man here to the near side. Long count, there's a snap. Counter handoff here to the near side, once again to the fullback, Lukish, who's getting a workout here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and credit Middlebury's linemen right now. They're really keeping BFA's defenders from getting any sort of penetration in there and just stopping them right there at the line.
And I got to say, I mean, the Tigers will take 4 or 5 yards from their fullback every single time.
Yeah, just tire out the defense, take a lot of clock off. So just doing a good job, especially since they deferred. They'll get the ball in the second half, so if they can score here and give BFA very little time to come back, that'll be huge for them.
Again, motion in the backfield and handoff to the fullback. No, quarterback keeper, and racing for the first down is Ryan Thomas Daniel. Good job by Thomas Daniel pulling that ball out of the fullback's chest.
Yeah, and that's where that triple option comes in. He had the option there if he liked what the fullback would have saw, but he saw the end pinch in, and he had the option there and took it for a good game.
So Tigers starting to move the football once again against this BFA defense. Ball spotted at the Bob White 30-yard line. 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Motion in the backfield. And a handoff once again to the fullback, Lukish. But this time, Bob White's gang tackle him for no gain.
Yeah, that was a good job by Sean Borgard there, getting in and stopping him in the backfield. Really what BFA needed was some sort of negative yard play right there.
Yeah, I mean, last few first downs, it's been 4 or 5 yards every single time. So this time, Tigers losing one. Sets up a 2nd and 11 at their BFA 31.
Don't expect Middlebury to be in any sort of hurry, really trying to take down these last 3.5 minutes as much as they can.
2 receivers set to the far side, 2 receivers set here to the near side. Lone man in the backfield, the fullback, Nicholas Lukish. And they'll be back to pass. Under pressure, stepping up in the pocket, but having some running room. And he'll dive ahead for a Tiger first down. So good composure by Ryan Thomas Donia.
Yeah, he did a good job of seeing that all the pressure's coming from the outside. He had the middle wide open and just took off and ran, didn't try to force anything downfield.
3:05 remaining in the first half. Tigers now at the BFA 19-yard line. 4 receivers set. Thomas Dunyo up under center. Taking his time on the snap. Hands off to Lukish. And he stood up, but not until he picks up. Ball came loose at BFA at racing with the football. And they're going to say Middlebury. Well, Bob Whites are going to play this through for the run for the touchdown, but the officials are going to say BFA had stopped his forward progress. Kind of a quick whistle there, Anthony.
That was a real quick whistle. I mean, he was still churning his feet up the middle, and that ball came out. Just it seemed like as soon as he stopped, they called the whistle there. Very quick whistle, and unfortunate for BFA.
defensive coordinator Rusty Brandon on the field with his arms stretched out, asking why. Head coach Jeff Murray out there. Again, they blew the play dead. I don't know if we can, well, maybe we'll take a look at the replay during halftime on if that's available. But a big break there for the Middlebury Tigers, and just the opposite for that Bob White defense.
Yeah, you can see all the coaches on BFA sideline very upset with that quick whistle. I mean, he was still moving his feet. He was still kind of moving, and the BFA did a good job getting the ball out, and it's unfortunate for them.
Instead, Tigers maintained possession, 2nd and 6. Handoff to the far side to Whitley. Whitley stood up for no gain. No gain on the play.
And not only would that have been, key for BFA to get the ball back, but they actually had daylight out there, so they might have just scored right there as well. So that could have been a complete turnaround right there. One thing I have noticed for this BFA defense, you saw James Harrison running up and down the sideline here, one of their best linebackers. It looks like he might have tweaked something, some sort of lower body there. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets back out there. Defense definitely hurting with him on the sideline.
Yeah, good observation, Anthony. Harrison still on the sideline on this 3rd and 7 play. And it's a little option play with the quarterback. He lowers his shoulder, and he's going to be short at the 10-yard line, setting up a 4th and about 2 for Middlebury.
Yeah, and for as much as we talked about how well BFA's defensive ends were doing, keeping him to the inside, right now that option's getting to him. They're really pinching in on that dive, and the quarterback for Middlebury is doing a good job bouncing it outside.
So speaking of James Harrison, he makes his way into the game. A number of substitutions here for the Bob White defense, looking at a 4th and 1. Middlebury Tiger offense looking to their head coach, Dennis Smith, on the far sideline, and they may use one of their timeouts as a lot of time has passed on this 4th and 1. There we go, Anthony. Here's the whistle, and the Tigers will use a timeout with 1:19 remaining here in the first half. 7-7 our score.
And this is a huge play. If they convert this and then end up scoring, they get the ball back at half, and there's not going to be a lot of time here. Or if BFA ends up stopping them here, they'll have one timeout left to try and make something happen before halftime.
It's a good point, Anthony. Middlebury playing with house's money really here, since they'll get the kickoff to start the second half.
Yeah, and that would take all the momentum in the second half, knowing if they score, take the lead into the halftime and getting the ball back. Where they seemed dead in the water in the first quarter, not even getting a first down, now they're really starting to take all the momentum back.
All right, everyone, if you're just joining us, Bob Whites took the early 7-0 lead on their second offensive possession of the game. Looking at a 4th and 15 from about the Middlebury 20-yard line, Cole Montang was able to complete a pass into the end zone to Dakota Rye. That was the Bob Whites' first, and thus far only score of the first half.
Yeah, and if you're BFA, you got to expect nothing fancy here from Middlebury. You probably just expecting Lucas or one of their fullbacks just right up the middle, trying to get those 2 yards, which they've been getting these past 2 drives. So not really expecting anything fancy here, just seeing if Middlebury's offensive line can push back the defensive line.
Lucas lines up at fullback, little motion in the backfield. Tigers taking their time up under center and see if they'll use it. There's the snap and handoff here to the near side, and he stood up short. And talking of James Harrison in on the tackle for BFA, and that's a big stop for that Bob White defense.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge. I mean, we mentioned James Harrison again coming up with that huge stop, and I think right there, Middlebury almost trying to be too fancy.
Take a look at our replay, Northwest Access TV replay here, and you'll see the call to the near side. Again, Tigers taking their play and blown up in the backfield by number 24 for the Bob Whites, Colby Williams, who really deserves the bulk of the credit.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if, as we said, they just got too fancy. They've been pushing up the middle this entire past 2 drives, and maybe Middlebury just kind of got in their heads a little bit.
Seneca DeRocher back in. Got a finger here, Anthony. Bob White's at their own 10. Not going to be very fancy. DeRocher breaks it outside. He has some speed. There he goes. DeRocher turns on the afterburners, and it's a horse tackle. It looks like on the far side. No flag.
Ooh, that's a rough no call right there.
Looks like they came up around the shoulders, and DeRocher tugging at his jersey. Break there for the Tigers not to have that 15-yard penalty called against them.
Also a break for BFA. Seneca got up quickly and
not injured.
There. You're right. It's a dangerous play right there.
DeRocher was yanked out of bounds as we took a look on that replay with 1:04 remaining. So a little bit of breathing room now at the 33-yard line. Montang hands off straight ahead once again. I believe that was DeRocher. Tigers do a much better job containing him. Under a minute to go here. Checking into the game, Deegan Rathburn.
And if you're BFA, you do need a little sense of urgency if you're going for it here because you only have the one timeout left. So you might see maybe a pass here down the sideline, try to get up a big gain, and then take the timeout. Just make sure they're not leaving Middlebury with anything.
See adventurous head coach Jeff Murray gets here, 2nd and 7. I think they're going to take the time. My sense is they'll take the tie into the halftime. But we shall see. Thomas Demers splits out wide here to the near side. Under 30 seconds to go. DeRocher lines up beside his quarterback, Cole Montaigne. Montaigne with the snap. Handoff goes to DeRocher here to the near side. He streaks ahead, driving ahead, and he's going to be close to a first down. And the officials whistle it down at 14 seconds. And they move the stick. So 14 seconds to go. Ball spotted at the BFA 45-yard line. Bob Whites do have one timeout remaining.
You might see if they might take a shot on a quick slant, see if they can get a good chunky yards, and then they still got the timeout. But it looks like they're just going to take it at halftime.
Bob Whites are going a bit into the wind. They'll wind the clock back up, and as you know, Anthony, Bob Whites will head to the locker room, and the horn sounds, and that will do it on the first half. Anthony, your thoughts on first half observation?
BFA, it was a tale of two quarters. BFA did a phenomenal job on defense, really shutting down Middlebury for no first downs in that first quarter. Offense looked good on one drive and just didn't make Middlebury pay for the great field position that BFA had in that entire first quarter. And in the second quarter, Middlebury's offense did a good job going to what they do best and really taking off a lot of time. Really they only had 2 drives that entire time, but they took off a lot of time on those 2 drives, just pulling out chunk yards the entire time. So Middlebury's offense did a much better job. BFA's defense, again, coming up huge, especially with that big stop late at the second and a half. So, defense is doing what we expected it to do. Now offense needs to kind of start finding something.
One thing we kind of didn't go over, that 4th and 1, Anthony, head coach Dennis Smith for Middlebury could have elected to go for a field goal.
Yeah, he could have. You got to wonder if they have a confidence in a kicker other than a PAT, especially in a swirling wind of the complex. Always tough to kick around here. Or if they just really want to go for that score. Again, I'm surprised. They were picking up 4 or 5 yards with that little fullback dive up the middle. So for them, I don't know if they're trying to keep BFA off, keep them honest by going to the outside. But you mentioned Colby Williams did a good job stepping up, and James Harrison coming up and helping him out. So it's a great play by BFA, and maybe Middlebury might be kicking themselves now, trying to get a little too fancy out there.
Well, both teams had an opportunity washed away, right? Bob Whites did miss that one field goal as well in the first quarter. So with that, we'll take a timeout. Our score at the half, BFA 7, Middlebury 7. You're watching Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand here at the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Anthony, your stats for the first half.
It's kind of crazy. I didn't even think it was going to be this lopsided, but Middlebury's actually owning almost every offensive for how bad they were in that first quarter. The second quarter is really making the difference. They have 155 total yards, all rushing yards. BFA has 68 total yards. And for how good a BFA's field position was, especially in that first quarter, they're 0 for 7 on third down conversions. The one touchdown they did get was on a 4th and long on that long passing play. So BFA's offense not really moving at all. Defense really bailing them out a lot, especially on Middlebury. And like I said, Middlebury doing a good job kind of facing that adversity, not getting a first down in that first quarter, and then really charging down the field, picking up a big chunk of yardage. 22 and a half minutes possession time to BFA's 13. So just a good job by Middlebury to kind of change the script there in the second quarter.
Not a big surprise as far as coming into the game about, BFA having a challenging time offensively. They certainly did the last couple of weeks. But again, for those of you just tuning in, Middlebury, prior to tonight's game, had given up 0 points.
Yeah.
0 points to the 2 teams they had played. So BFA knew it was going to be a challenge offensively.
Yeah, but BFA's defense set them up so well just by scoring. And then the special teams for Middlebury was just so bad that it really gave BFA an opportunity to kind of extend that lead, but BFA just didn't take advantage of it. Had a ball at the 25-yard line to start one drive after they were already up 7-0, and then went nowhere.
Got nothing.
And
wow.
That was a missed field goal.
Yep.
And then Middlebury gave it right back and gave it back to them inside their territory again. So the average yards field position for BFA start has been phenomenal, but just the offense hasn't been able to do anything with it. Just kind of a little bit one-dimensional almost, just with a lot of kind of dives with Seneca DeRocha. And Middlebury's line and linebackers are doing a good job getting off the ball so well that they're really snuffing everything out for really minimal yardage.
So the Middlebury squad on the far side of the field, they'll be set to return, and BFA heading onto the field right now. So head coach Jeff Murray and his assistants had a little bit more to say, it sounds like, than head coach Dennis Smith to his team.
Yeah, you got to wonder if, BFA's going to come out and maybe change something on offense a little bit. I mean, you want to see if maybe like some quick slants or something like that will really catch Middlebury off guard, because we saw in that last pass attempt for BFA where Middlebury just kind of sent the house. So if you think of maybe a little quick slant, might be able to catch them off guard if they're sending the linebackers in up the middle. All these plays that are taking a long time to develop are really hurting BFA, because Middlebury is just so much quicker than BFA has been off the ball.
So they put 4 minutes on the clock when BFA came out. So it'll be interesting to see. I see the officials heading back over to the Middlebury sideline. I think they were expecting things to get underway here. See if we can potentially locate some out-of-town scores for you. Looks like St. Johnsbury leading at the half, 21-7. They're hosting Colchester this evening. It's Windsor 21, Springfield 6. Anthony, if you see anything else at the half, this one a little bit of a surprise. Anthony, you kind of flagged it earlier here this evening. It's the South Burlington Seawolves 7, Hurricanes 7 at the half.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Seeing how good Hartford's been this entire time, and South Burlington has really struggled, as we mentioned, kind of getting demolished last weekend by Middlebury and just not getting any points. So South Burlington really going toe-to-toe with a good Hartford team right now.
Seawolves, a team that the bobwhites will play next week on the road. Not clear to us yet if it will be at Burlington High School or at South Burlington High School. I'm happy to tell you, you're not going to have to worry about where to go. Northwest Access TV will be there for you, so you'll be able to tune in on the Northwest Access TV's Facebook page, live on air, also through Comcast and likely YouTube as well. So lots of opportunity for you folks at home to sit back, relax, and take that game in as we hit the road next Friday night.
Yeah, it's interesting to see on that last defensive drive for BFA how much of a difference one person can kind of make. We saw James Harrison on the sideline. Seemed like he's trying to work something out with his lower body, and Middlebury was driving down the field. And as soon as he gets back in there, that's kind of where BFA started getting a bunch of a couple of big stops. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes throughout this game.
So Middlebury gets the ball to start the third quarter. Bobwhites will have the wind to their back in the third quarter. So
we want to keep an eye out here for the Middlebury returners. I don't think they've received any sort of return, whether it be punt or kick cleanly yet. They kind of bobbled everything so far. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get one cleanly here and make a good return.
Gavin Frady's set to kick away for the Bobwhites, who are huddled up. Jackson Gillette back deep, one of the kick returners. Frady's line drive kick, and it'll take a little hop at the 15-yard line. Over to that far side is Gillette trying to take it, but nowhere to run, and he's upended at the 19-yard line. Nice tackle there by James Harrison.
Yeah, and you saw Gillette there instead of Brian Whitley back there, so you got to wonder if maybe with the bobbles that were going on out there, they put somebody else back there, and it didn't seem like Gillette had quite the burst that Whitley was having back there.
So here we go, start the second half. 1st and 10 for Middlebury. Nose of the football right at their 20-yard line. Again, almost full moon out here tonight, shining over the Collins Pearly Sports Center. Quarterback Ryan Thomas Daniel up under center. Motion in the backfield, long count. There's the snap. Daniel will pitch it here to the near side to Lukish. And Lukish picks up 5 on the pitch.
Yeah, it looked like BFA had a couple of guys there that just kind of missed tackles that would have made it a little bit shorter of a gain. But Lucas kind of just ran through those tackles.
Sets up a 2nd and 5. Harrison back out on the field in his linebacker role. Again, Bob White showing 5 men up front. Really daring, running a 5-4, really daring Middlebury to put the ball in the air. Motion again in the backfield, quarterback keeper, option play to the far side, and well defended by BFA. In on the tackle, number 21, Justin Brown.
It looked like Caleb Lulick on the end did a good job containing him into the inside, something that BFA kind of struggled with a little bit toward the end of the second quarter, was keeping the quarterback inside, but doing a good job pushing him into the linebackers.
So Bob White's defending the quarterback option. Will set up a 3rd and 5 here for the Tigers at their own 25. Double wing formation here for the Tigers. Motion in the backfield, long count. And we got a movement, no flag yet. Handoff counter on the far side of the field. That's Austin Neal for minimal gain. And again, no flag, and 4th and 5, Tigers likely to punt.
I mean, I'm sure BFA will take that, but that was kind of blatant movement. It looked like the BFA defender kind of shifted a little bit in his stance, but the fullback definitely moved early there. But it kind of all turned out to be the same for BFA if they punt it here.
So here we go, 4th and 5 for the Tigers. It's been an adventure for them, punting away this evening once again into the wind. High snap, just able to get down. Oh, just gets it away. And we'll take a Tiger roll. Ball is touched by BFA, and the Tigers recover. So the Tigers, who had special team issues in the first half, now it's the Bobwhites who return the favor to start the second half.
Yeah, and that's just tough right there. The BFA returner was falling to the ground. Not sure why he was trying to touch it. Should have just got away from it right there. And just a huge opportunity right there for Middlebury now to take over now in BFA territory, and just terrible luck for BFA.
So instead of the Bobwhites having the ball at the 49-yard line, it's the Tigers offense that will head back out onto the field.
9-8, 6-3-1. Come on up to the booth and you'll get your 240.
Thomas Daniel up under center. Here's a snap. Play action, running its own number on the quarterback keeper to the near side, picks up a block, turns a shoulder, takes a big pop, lowering his shoulder. Number 24, Colby Williams, delivering the hit, but it is a pickup of 7 on the play.
Yeah, it looks like Middlebury almost got away with a little bit of a clip there in the backfield. James Harrison went in. It seemed like he had a free shot at the quarterback and kind of got clipped to the back a little bit.
Call it a 2nd and 4, 9:15 remaining here in the third quarter. A muffed punt setting up the Tiger offense. Thomas Daniel up under center, 4 receivers set. Handoff straight ahead to the fullback, who is taken down immediately by Cam Bailey.
It's a good job by Bailey, really getting in that backfield and making a minimal gain right there where BFA needed.
Sets up a 3rd and 4 at the BFA 42. Again, Tigers will spread the field out. They'll keep their fullback, Nikola Lukic, in. Motion in the backfield. And no gain. Harrison on the tackle. Maybe a pickup of 2. Again, that was that option play, and they fed the fullback.
Yeah, and right there just trying to get that first down quickly. And good job by BFA's ends, really crashing in on that quarterback, making it so he had no choice but to let the fullback take it.
So no huddle here for the Tigers, looking to go for it at the Bob White 41-yard line. Bob White defense held them on their last 4th and short. See if they're able to do it again. Quarterback sneaks straight ahead, and, well, I don't know. It's going to be close.
I got to get a 39. Looks like they're going to the 40.
I got to tell you, Anthony, from here, it looks like he's going to be short. And indeed, he is. I mean, they put the ball down at the 40-yard line, but he needed to make it to about the 39 and a half.
And the stick is clearly past the 40-yard line. Not even going to measure it.
So the Bob White defense bails out the special teams unit.
Yeah, and again, BFA defense is just being so strong and coming up with timely stops. And right there, I mean, Middlebury probably learned from the last one where they tried to be too fancy on a 4th and short, going to the outside, just going right at the middle. And just a great job by that BFA defensive front. And James Harrison, again, with big stops for BFA.
Splitting out wide here to the near side. That's Colby Williams. Shotgun formation, motioned by Dakota Rye. Handoff will go straight ahead to DeRocher, who makes one man miss. There goes DeRocher, and he'll have enough for a BFA first down. 14-yard gain, and a late flag comes in. Possible face mask here, Anthony. I don't know what you may have picked up, if anything.
I didn't see anything in the clutter of people.
Ball stands at the 45. We're going to have a face mask against the Tigers. That is the call. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, so a minor face mask infraction, and they'll mark it at the Tiger 40-yard line. 7:48 remaining in the third quarter, 7-7 our score. Clock stops with the first down.
And that play right there is kind of quick plays that BFA needs. Nothing that's going to develop too quickly with Middlebury really doing a good job.
Little pitch here to the near side to Seneca. They're trying to spring him free. Makes one defender miss, but nowhere to run. That was a little lateral, technically a running play. And they're trying to free him up out in the flats. It's going to be a loss of 4.
Yeah, right there you can see where Middlebury's just beating the BFA blockers to the ball and just really doing a good job getting away from those blockers and getting them in the backfield.
I mean, the bobwhites had 3 receivers out to try to block there. Now they'll go to a 4-receiver set, 2 up on the top side of your screen, 2 on the bottom side. 2nd and 15, back to pass. In the pocket is Montang running around trying to find something. Shoots upfield, tiptoes out of bounds, a pickup of 5, maybe 6. So under heavy pressure, turned a negative into a positive.
Good job by him, just making is a good gain and getting any sort of gain on there because he had pressure right at the middle, right as soon as he stopped that ball.
I said 6, call it 10 on the play. That's going to set up a much more manageable 3rd and 5 at the Tiger 35.
And that's where it's great for BFA having a quarterback like Montang who has a great arm and can make plays like that happen on the run.
Thomas Demers splits out wide to the far side. Deegan Rathburn splits out wide here to the near side. Play action, under pressure again, and he'll be sacked in the backfield for a loss of 6 at the 42, and we'll see if BFA decides to punt away here.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things right now where Middlebury's just getting off the ball so much quicker that any sort of misdirection play action just isn't working just because Middlebury's in the backfield before they can even get a play developed.
Sets up a 4th and 11. Seneca DeRocher back to punt. He'll stand at his 45-yard line. Jackson Gillette for the punt return. High end over end kick. And the ball is fair caught at the Tiger 13. Well, that's one way to not make it an adventure, Anthony. Just throw up your hand and call for the fair catch.
Yeah, just a smart play right there. He had Harrison breathing down his face right there right as soon as he get it. And I mean, I think that's the first return that actually got fielded cleanly for Middlebury.
6:17 remaining here in the third quarter. If you're just tuning in, it's BFA 7, Middlebury 7 here at the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans.
We'll see if BFA's defense can make another big stop here and then kind of change field position a little bit again.
Been a battle of 2 good defenses here this evening. Thomas Dagnol up under center. Long count out of the wishbone. Calls the pitch option play to his tailback, and he's wrapped up. Number 20, Gavin McNulty, is good for about 5 on the quarterback option.
Yeah, and right now, it is a good job by BFA limiting that right there, but the end kind of got sucked in again to where the corner had to take the quarterback, and then reinforcements had to come and get the pitch man. So right now, BFA is just going to have to really stick to their assignments with the ends, getting that quarterback on that option.
So 2nd and, we'll call it 6, ball at the 17-yard line. Again, wishbone backfield here for the Tigers on this series. Long count, they held off to the second man through. Looking to turn the corner is Austin Neal. Ball is loose, so they give it to BFA this time. BFA signaling they have it. No signal yet by the official.
It looked like a referee already signaled first down for Middlebury.
Second time this evening, the Bobwhites came up with a football, but at least the Bobwhite coaches would say a quick whistle made for a no turnover. So first down for the Tigers, 5:26 remaining here in the third quarter. 7-7 our score. Wishbone backfield. Thomas Dagnol up under center. 1st and 10. Thomas Dagnol, play action pass on the far side, lofts it high into the air, and it is caught. Pickup of 6 on that far side of the field. Looked like it may have been Jackson Gillette who came down with it. Called a reception of 5, maybe 6, setting up a 2nd and 4. 4:48 remaining here in the third quarter. Clock continues to run. Wishbone backfield. Thomas Daniel up under center. Here's a snap. Counter here to the near side, and James Harrison blows things up in the backfield for BFA. On the McNulty with the run, but Harrison almost took the handoff, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're noticing that BFA's defense is much better with him out there. He's all over this field right now and doing a good job coming up with those timely those timely stops and for negative yardage.
This is where the Tigers don't want to be offensively. 3rd and long, call it 3rd and 9 at their own 26-yard line. 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're definitely a team that likes to pick up those chunk yardage, so these 3rd and longs are pretty rough for them because it makes them have to do something, either a counter or a pass play.
With that, we'll have a timeout taken by the Middlebury offense. Defensive coordinator Rusty Brandon out on the field to talk to his bobwhites on this 3rd and long. Anthony, what's Coach Brandon likely saying out there?
Everybody's just got to stay home where they are. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see something kind of like the triple option that we've seen a little bit. If BFA is going to kind of unload the box a little bit, maybe just give it up the middle with the fullback, or you could also have a little option play on the outside if they see those ends pinching. If they see those ends pinching, that's almost an easy 5-6 yards if they get to the outside, because it's basically going to be a 2-on-1 on the corner if the linebackers can't get out there and fill if the end ends up pitching in too far.
Out-of-town score at the half. Rutland leading Mount Anthony 14-7. A little surprised at the closeness of that game.
Yeah, it's for how much Rutland's also been kind of going through everybody, including Burton last weekend. It's a fairly tight contest.
Mount Anthony, Division II squad. I mean, historically Division I, but the last number of years, Division II. All right, here we go. Back on the field here at the Collins Pearly in St. Albans. 4 receivers set. 2 to the near side, 2 to the far side. 3rd and 9. Rolling back the pass. Fires over the middle and deflected, incomplete. And the Tiger is going to be forced to punt away into the wind.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Middlebury's quarterback is really comfortable throwing around the run right there. He's had a couple of, in the flats, but anything down the field or on the run, he doesn't look as comfortable. That ball wasn't really on point at all.
Cole Montaigne now drops back deep for the bobwhites on the punt return.
Yeah. And it's interesting here because Middlebury put Sawyer Cataract back out there at punter, and he's the one who the snap went over his head earlier in the game, a little bit shorter than their other punter.
Cataract's back out there again. Line drive kick here to the near side, and Montaigne makes the catch has a roll to the near side, turns the corner into Middlebury territory and tiptoes out of bounds.
Good job, Cole, right there, feeling it cleanly and picking up some yards, get it back on Middlebury side.
So bobwhites will start this drive in Tiger territory at the Middlebury 48-yard line. We've had a good one here, folks, this Friday evening in Vermont high school football. 3:40 remaining in the third quarter, 7-7 our score.
Yeah, just another drive where BFA starting in Middlebury territory, so eventually they have to take advantage of this great field position if they're going to come away with a win here.
Now we got an official timeout here on the field. Looks like Middlebury Tiger assistant taking the ball across the field.
It might save Middlebury a little bit because they had a defensive tackle coming in late there.
3 receivers set on the far side of the field here for the bobwhites. Cole Montaigne looking, fires, hits his man out of the backfield. That's Dakota Rye, who has a first down for BFA.
And those little quick passes are exactly what BFA likes to do. I mean, Rye scored a couple touchdowns just off that, where he took a little 4-yard dump off and then took it to the house. So, that's exactly what BFA needs, especially with how much pressure Middlebury's been getting on Montaigne the last few drives.
Rye was certainly Montaigne's favorite target in the season opener down at Mount Mansfield with 2 touchdown receptions.
And you got to wonder if Middlebury's going to sell out to try and, sack Montaigne. I mean, those little flat passes are going to be there and be wide open where you can make a 5-yard play and turn it into 20-plus.
Again, win not a huge factor, but it is somewhat a factor. So the bobwhites have it at least for 3 more minutes here in the first half. Now to this side, firing is Montaigne, and high and incomplete out of the outstretched hands of Thomas DeMar.
That's kind of where a little bit of a difference you see between these two quarterbacks, where Montaigne looks really comfortable and can throw a ball on point when he's on the run, where Middlebury's quarterback looks a little bit more uncomfortable and not quite on target. Just a little bit high there for DeMar.
Clock stops with the incompletion with 2:48 remaining here in the third quarter. Ball spotted at the Tiger 25-yard line.
You got to wonder, after seeing a couple of pass plays where Middlebury's going to start have to respect that. You see that little quick dive right up the middle with DeRocha, uses speed up the middle. But it looks like Middlebury is really loading that box, bringing their linebackers right up into those A gaps.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 men in the box. So back to passes. BFA seeing that. Fires it here to the near side. Ball is incomplete. Was looking for Seneca DeRocher out of the backfield and was just a little high.
Yeah, luckily he kind of stopped running a little bit and didn't finish out the route and kind of tried to jump it. Just over his head. Got to keep running that out and get the ball. Good job by Montaigne getting it out under pressure and kind of putting it on target to where his guy could get it.
So here we go, 3rd and 10 at the 35. Clock stops with the incompletion, 2:43 remaining here. Maybe in 4-down territory, Anthony?
Yeah, you got to think so, especially this deep at the 35. And right here, I mean, with them bringing their linebackers, I'd be surprised if BFA, wouldn't be surprised if BFA went up the middle here.
High snap way over the head of Montaigne, and ball is still loose on the ground, and the Bobwhites fortunate to recover. There's going to be a flag as Cole Montaigne attempted to kick the football. Seneca DeRocher fell on the football. Another flag comes in. We'll see this call certainly coming against the Bobwhites. See what the call is. Anthony, should I put you on the spot?
This is I've never seen this before, and it looks like the refs are kind of curious of how to handle this as well. I mean, the flags definitely came out when Montaigne kicked it, so it's probably wondering yardage, if it's from the spot of where the line of scrimmage was or the spot of where it happened. This is definitely not a situation you usually see a lot. But that definitely does take BFA out of 4-down territory now, where you definitely think it's
penalties decline. Maybe it was maybe a trip.
Well, I think they called it for kicking, but you wonder whether they would have gotten a 3rd down again, where it would have been repeated downs.
Right.
Whereas where DeRocher recovered it, 10 yards back, Middlebury might as well just decline the penalty and take it where it ended.
Yep. All right, heading back is Jackson Gillette. Seneca DeRocher stands at his 41. There's a snap. DeRocher gets it away. High end over end kick. And will stop right at the 6-yard line. Anthony, what a gorgeous kick.
I mean,
wow.
There's not much more you can do. He had that one that stopped right at the 1 earlier, putting him back there. I mean, Seneca DeRocher is really helping this BFA defense, pinning Middlebury back deep as much as he has this game.
I mean, he's been a punting placement machine this evening.
Which is something you don't really think about a lot in high school football, but this game is showing exactly how beneficial it can be if you have a punter that can be that accurate and pin him in that deep as well as he has been. I
mean, other than that last drive off the miffed punt, Middlebury has been pinned back continuously in this game.
Yeah, and they haven't been, and he has such a high hang time, they haven't been able to really field it cleanly.
So double wing formation now in the backfield. Handoff goes to the second man through. That's Austin Neal, and Neal rumbles ahead for, call it 5 on the carry. 2:10 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 7-7 our score here at the Collins Pearly.
Going to be another, it almost seems like it's going to be whoever scores next going to take all the momentum kind of thing. So it could be whoever scores next is going to be the one who comes away with the win in this game.
Caught a pickup of 6. That will set up a 2nd and 4 here. Again, Tigers calling the play call right on the line of scrimmage. Again, double wing formation. Motion in the backfield. Rolling out and under pressure is the quarterback, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. Gavin Freites in. And it's going to be a loss of 4 on the play.
Yeah, it's almost like what's been happening with BFA, where they tried a little bit of play action, and by the time the play action unfolded, BFA was already in the backfield. Good job by Freites.
So another 3rd and long here for the Tigers with 1:12 to go. Clock runs. 3rd and 9. Ball at the 11.
And here's where you got to watch the counters or the option to the outside if you're the defensive ends.
Double wing formation. Now we've got that motion in the backfield. Back to pass. And he's sacked again in the backfield. In for BFA number 21, Justin Brown.
Yeah, good job just stunning in there, setting the linebacker in Brown, and he just blew up his man and got there before the quarterback could even do anything with it.
45 seconds left, and in the 3rd quarter, to be precise, and Middlebury is going to be forced to punt from deep within their territory into a little bit of wind, and we've got a banged up Middlebury Tiger limping to the sideline, and
And you got to think here, I mean, Middlebury hasn't done that great as far as fielding the snap and getting a good punt off. It's not like they have DeRocha back there, so BFA should have really good field position off of this.
Caldere back there again, gets it, under pressure, gets it away. Line drive kick, and Cole Montang makes the catch, and he's hit immediately, but he holds on to the ball. Hopefully Montang is okay. He pops up, and that's good to see. And the Bobwhites will start this drive once again in Middlebury territory at the Middlebury College 27-yard line with 11 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, right there, it's nice that Montang went up and fielded it to, not let it roll out and make a really good field position. But right there, you probably want, if you're a coach, you probably want your quarterback to fair catch it right there for how short of a punt it was, where Middlebury was able to get down there quickly.
So 11 seconds to go, so probably one play here remaining in the third quarter with a little bit of steady wind to their backs. Splitting out wide here to the near side is Tegan Rathburn. There's a snap, and Seneca DeRocher has it. He has a speed, and DeRocher rumbles ahead, and he'll have a BFA first down.
I'm going to wonder if BFA is starting to just build the momentum off their defense. I mean, Middlebury may be a little flat-footed because they're a little down because of where this field position has been in the past couple drives.
4 seconds remaining on the clock here in the quarter. Clock stops momentarily with the first down, but they'll now wind the clock to run it once again down to 2-1. The horn sounds, and that will do it for the third quarter of play. Our score, BFA 7, Middlebury 7. You're watching BFA Bob White football on Northwest Access TV. Welcome back, everyone. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand here at the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans. Anthony, we've got ourselves a real good one here.
Yeah, and that change of quarter was probably beneficial for Middlebury to kind of settle them down because it seemed like they were on their heels a little bit after the short punt gave BFA the ball deep in their own territory. So good for them, or it's probably good for them to kind of settle down a little bit.
1st and 10 for the Bobwhites at the Middlebury 16-yard line, trying to break this 7-7 tie. And the quarterback's keeper straight ahead to Montang, and nowhere to run for the quarterback.
It seemed like there was a lot of trying to do some misdirection or some fakes out there that Middlebury just snuffed right out.
Loss of 3, maybe 4. I mean, the one thing the Bobwhites can ill afford here, and it happened back in the first quarter, is to lose yardage and put their kicking team in a tough position on a field goal.
Yeah, this close in, they just need everything to just go forward. They probably can't be too fancy just because Middlebury's been doing such a good job of just getting negative yards out there from their defense.
Blitz on, and ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. So Montang just able to get that off with 3 defenders in his face.
Yeah, you see James Harrison going back in, so he wasn't in those couple plays. So you got to wonder if maybe the protection wasn't there because with him on the sideline.
Sets up a 3rd and 12 at the 18. Again, in high school football, no gimmies in the field goal game, so Bobwhite's certainly going to concentrate on trying to pick up this first down. Yeah. Frady's heading over here to the near side, actually grab the kicking tee to see if it will be needed after this next play.
I'll be surprised if you see a little flat play to Dakota Rye, get him just the ball in his hand, see what he can do.
Pressure again. Montang throws it up. Jump ball in the end zone. Incomplete.
There it is.
And there's the flag. Pass was intended, I believe, for Deegan Rathburn.
Yeah, and you saw the Middlebury defender kind of hook his midsection in there before the ball was even there and made it so he couldn't come back to the ball. So a good pass interference call right there.
That should be enough for the first down. It was 3rd and 13 as they talk with the Bobwhite offense. Pass interference, as you can see here on your screen, against the Tigers. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 1st and goal for the Bobwhites at the 9. Well, what do we got? Third down? Nope. All right. So we'll call it 3rd and 3 at the 9. So we'll see what head coach Jeff Murray dials up here offensively. 2 receivers set here to the near side. There's a pass here to the near side to Seneca. DeRocher loses the football, and they're going to call it incomplete. And that's unfortunate for BFA because if that is a throwback, he had all sorts of running room into the end zone.
Probably be in.
I mean, the last few times they've done that, Anthony, at least from my vantage point, it's actually been a lateral pass.
And it looked like that was real close to either being straight across or behind. Well, must have been from the referee standpoint, it was forward.
So, Bob White special teams onto the field. Gavin Freites to attempt the field goal. Looks to be about a 26-yard field goal attempt into a bit of a wind. Here's the snap. Freites' kick is up. It's long enough, and it is good! Freites connects from 26 yards out, and the Bob Whites retake the lead.
Yeah, and special teams right now has been the key for BFA between the punt return, Seneca DeRoche punting, and Gavin Freites field goal kicking. Special teams really coming up in defense, coming up huge for BFA.
So the Bob Whites take a 10-7 lead with 10:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A lot of time, Anthony, but maybe not quite as much with some teams because the Tigers just really adverse and not built to throw the football and to strike quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if they can put together a drive like we saw in that second quarter where they take up 6, 7, 8 minutes, that'll be huge for Middlebury if they were able to make it a scoring drive to take up a bunch of time here in the fourth quarter. So BFA's defense is going to have to come up big again. It's unfortunate right there that on that last set of series, BFA took that first down for a loss of 3 or 4 because of pass interference. If they didn't lose yardage right there, it would have given them enough of the first down.
Good point. And for folks wondering at home why that wasn't an automatic first down at the goal line, it's a 15-yard penalty, and where BFA was positioned, it was half the distance to the goal line, so you don't get the full 15 yards. So Freites to kick away from his own 40-yard line. It's going to be a little line drive kick fielded by the Tigers at the 40-yard line. I think Freites was hoping that was going to take a little kind of hop up in the air.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising right there because this is going to be Middlebury's best field position to start out with because Freites has such a good leg and BFA's kickoff team has been a good job getting down there. So you got to, as you mentioned, you might want to see that squib. Maybe they misplay it a little bit instead of driving it down.
So Tigers with 10:45 remaining start this drive off at their own 45-yard line. Quarterback Thomas Daniel up under center. Double wing formation, motion in the backfield. Handoff will go to that second man through. That's McNulty. He'll pick up 3 on the carry, maybe 4.
It's a good job by BFA really breaking that down as quickly as they did because McNulty on his first 2 carries, he's got a size and speed that seems to be a little bit faster and more burst than the rest of the Middlebury backs do.
Harrison substitute back off the field here. Tigers looking at a 2nd and 6. I think cramps looking just at hamstrings. And there goes McNulty on the far side. They string him up for a gain of 1 or 2. And again, the
looks like the calf for Harrison down here.
yeah, his calf is apparently giving him cramps as they work on his right calf here on the near sideline.
That's what huge. If BFA is able to stop him with Harrison on the sideline here, that's going to be huge if they can get 3 and out from Middlebury. Because BFA also, if they put a drive together, could take up a lot of this clock.
Sets up a 3rd and 6, double wing, and that's McNulty here on the near side. Now we got motion on the far side, and the Bob White sniff out the fullback for no gain on the play.
Yeah, and right there, Middlebury made it easy because the fullback, quarterback, and tailback were all clustered together where the 3 BFA defenders were able to keep them all in one circle right there as opposed to spreading out where the quarterback could have broke a little free if they had a little bit more space out there.
So defense holds. Again, they continue to work on the calf muscles of James Harrison on the near sideline. That's Cole Montang who will head back deep for the Bob Whites to field this punt return. Fourth and 6. High snap way over the head. Once again, and the bobwhites special teams turns the trick once again.
Yeah, you just gotta wonder here. Is it the long snapper who's just getting a little bit of nerves here, or I'm not sure. I'd be curious to see why Middlebury's switching punters, because this punter that they've had in, number 79, Sawyer Cataract, doesn't have quite the height that the other punter does. So maybe the other punter is able to bring that down. That one was really high, so that one was on the long snapper. But special teams not good today for Middlebury.
Yeah, certainly the difference thus far in this evening's game.
Yeah, just a lot of mistakes are really costing them. Fortunately for them, the defense has kind of bailed them out a lot, but BFA's got to make them pay here starting out at the 22.
The bobwhites certainly want to come away with a touchdown, make this a 2-possession game. Thomas DeMar splits out wide to the far side. Telfer splits out wide here to the near side. Now we've got a whistle, and we're going to have a timeout taken by head coach Jeff Murray.
Yeah, good call there. It looked like the split end out here was a little confused. Were they supposed to be on line, offline? It's a good job by Coach Murray making sure they don't get a cheap penalty out there that would put them first and long.
8:53 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's BFA 10, Middlebury 7. If you're just joining us, Tigers come into tonight's game 2-0 overall. They had not even allowed a single point prior to coming into tonight's game. Bobwhites 1-1 overall, winning their first game of the season on the road at Mount Mansfield, and then following a close one on the road at Hartford. Bobwhites back on the road next week as they take on the South Burlington combination team. So the Bobwhites, frankly, Anthony, starting 3 of their first 4 games on the road, will have a bit of a home stretch after next week.
Yeah, this is a tough stretch for them at Mount Mansfield, at Hartford, and against Middlebury. So not an easy stretch to start for them, and then going back on the road, as you said, next week.
All right, we'll look at it again at 1st and 10 at the BFA Middlebury 22-yard line. Montaigne looking to fire here to the near side, has a man open, and it is caught down to the 1-yard line. Michael Tilfer with an outstanding catch, as there was good coverage there by Brian Whitley. And the Bobwhites knocking on the door to make this a 2-possession game, looking at a 1st and goal from the 2.
Yeah, and good job by Telfer coming back, fighting through the contact where the defender wasn't even turned around, and good job fighting through that and adjusting for the ball in the air. And you got to think right here, under center, whether you just put Montaigne just right at the middle or just put Seneca DeRocha right at the middle.
Montaigne up under center, quarterback sneak, and he pushes ahead, and not a whole lot there. Probably call it no gain, looking at a 2nd and goal at about the 2.
And what makes this tough is BFA's offensive line hasn't been able to get much of a push against Middlebury's, so it's going to make it where these quarterback sneaks are a little bit tougher. You saw Montaigne there try to adjust off the guard there, but Middlebury just doing a good job really forcing pressure up the middle. Just going to be pinching everything inside right here.
Deegan Rathburn splits out wide to the far side of the field. Thomas DeMar splits out wide here to the near side. Now shotgun formation for Cole Montaigne. Handoff straight ahead to Seneca DeRocher, who stood up at the goal line. He's down to the 1.
That's a good job by Austin Neal for Middlebury, making sure he didn't get forward momentum into the goal line and holding him at that 1 right there.
7:36 remaining. 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. Again, Bobwhites trying to make this a 2-possession game.
I'll be surprised to see BFA maybe split it out a little bit here, put Montaigne in shotgun, and then just let him run up right at the middle.
That's the play, and Montaigne is in for a BFA touchdown! Cole Montaigne from 1 yard out.
That's just phenomenal right there, not having everything inside, so it keeps Middlebury honest and doing a good job just finding his open hole and getting it was Montaigne.
Taking a look at our Northwest Access TV replay, you see Cole Montaigne looks to the right-hand side, finds a little bit of a lane, and is in for 6 points. Back out on the field, BFA going for the single PAT. Frady's kick is up, it's high enough, and it is good. With 7:15 remaining in the fourth quarter, it's BFA 17, Middlebury 7. You're watching BFA Bobwhite football on Northwest Access TV.
midway through the fourth, 14-14.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Collins Pearly Sports Center. Tate Brooks, Anthony Labor on hand. And Anthony, the bobwhites responded with a touchdown to make this a two-score game.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. If they didn't capitalize right there after the bad snap on the punt for Middlebury, that gives Middlebury all the momentum going forward. And this really puts a separation in where it's going to put Middlebury into kind of emergency mode where they got to throw, which they haven't looked good doing so far today.
Frady's kick on the far side of the field, and racing on the far side, number 20, McNulty, down at around the 33-yard line. So again, we were mentioning earlier this Tiger team not built as a quick strike team. Again, they rushed 40 times for over 200 yards last week. Very little did they have to throw the football in their first two games of the season.
Yeah, and it looks like you might see BFA here. They're still going in the 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of change maybe to that 5-man once it starts getting into that must-pass situation.
Bobwhite's been running pretty much a base 5-4 defense this evening. Rifling high and tipped it incomplete, almost intercepted. Cole Montang had a beat on that football.
It looks like Middlebury changed quarterbacks. It's Gillette in there now instead of Daniel.
Jackson Gillette, sophomore.
You got to wonder if maybe he's a little bit more comfortable running the passing offense as opposed to Daniel.
Two receiver set to the near side. Two receiver to the top side of your screen. Fumble on the snap. Center exchange. Nope. Now Gillette fires it deep downfield, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for number 11, Cole Schnur.
Looks like they got a flag on the far side there.
Flag rests right around the line of scrimmage at the 31-yard line. Officials talking things over on what was a 2nd and 10. Seem to be talking to the Middlebury offense, so this one looks to be against BFA. It's going to be a defensive holding call. That'll be 5 yards, automatic first down here for the Tiger offense. 6:56 remaining here in the fourth quarter. McDonough splits out wide here to the near side. Gillette up under center. 4 receivers set. Gillette, play action, rolls to the far side, calls his own number, still running on his feet, and Gillette loses the football. It's down. BFA signaling they have it, and they do. Gillette loses a handle on the football as he's scrambling upfield, and the BFA defense does it once again.
Just a phenomenal job by BFA getting to him and forcing that fumble and actually getting it this time. Just BFA's defense could not say enough about it right here.
No quick whistle this time, which the BFA coaching staff has been kind of, just say vocal about in the last few quarters.
Right, and right here, I mean, if you're BFA, I mean, if you just run up the middle, crowd, a couple first downs, you can really just run this clock out.
6:47 remaining here in the fourth quarter. BFA offense back on the field here at the Tiger 41-yard line. Shotgun formation here for Cole Montang. Hands off straight ahead to Seneca DeRocher, and DeRocher breaks free. Has 7 on the play, as it looks like that BFA offensive line starting to find their legs.
Yeah, and doing a great job right now. And one thing about BFA's defense is that entire last drive, they did it without DeRocha and Harrison on the field. So 2 of their better defenders. BFA was able to force that fumble on defense last time. And right there, that play had Harrison still on the sideline. So just a good job by kind of a next man up mentality right now for BFA.
Got a Middlebury Tiger defensive player down. Got a score update between Hartford and the Seahorses. Again, South Burlington / Burlington. Midway through the fourth quarter, again, this is a bit of a surprise. It's Hartford 14, the Seahorses 14. We'll try to keep an eye on that the rest of the way. Also out-of-town score at the end of the third quarter. It's Brattleboro leading North Country 21-0. Windsor all over Springfield 33-6. No updates on that Rutland score. They were leading 14-7 at the half, is the last I saw.
Seems to be a little miscommunication here with Monting having to come over and get the play again. It's kind of unfortunate coming off of the injury timeout, but should have enough time to get the snap off still.
Sean Beauregard checks in beside Cole Monting. He'll take the handoff straight ahead, and he's upended in the backfield. Also a flag on the far side of the field as well. Flag will stop the clock at 6:10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Bob would like to keep that clock moving.
Yep.
But with the injury and penalty, no such luck. Got illegal procedure against BFA. Not the way you want to burn off the clock here so far on this series. Sets up a 2nd and 9, again with a clock stop at 6:10 remaining in the fourth quarter.
I would say with that penalty, though, it keeps them at a 2nd down instead of a 3rd, and they still lost 2 yards there. So really, they get an extra down and just lost an extra 3 yards there. So not the worst-case scenario for BFA.
Cole Montague, shotgun formation. Sean Beauregard lines up beside him. Low snap. Cole calls his own number. Montague drives ahead. Not a whole lot to find there. Sets up a 3rd and long. And Bob White's being conservative out there on the field.
Yeah, just take up as much time. It's still a two-possession game. So if you just take out as much time off, and even if you give Middlebury, Middlebury's shown that they've struggled throwing that ball. I don't think they maybe completed one pass so far.
17-7, BFA with the lead against the undefeated Middlebury Tigers. 5:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Head coach Jeff Murray, again, more than happy to use the clock. Looking at a 3rd and 9, I'd expect probably another run play. 4 receivers set as they try to spread out that Tiger defense. And they decide to throw it. Fires it over high and incomplete. Number 51, Matt Keeman, right in the chops of Cole Montague.
Yeah, and Middlebury just being real aggressive there, probably expecting the run. BFA trying to do almost what Hartford did to them last week when everybody's expecting the run to try to surprise them with a pass. But too much pressure on Montague to really get an accurate pass off.
So Seneca DeRocher heads back out on the field to punt away. He'll stand at his own 46-yard line. High snap, but gets it down. Pressure on the play. Now he's racing here to the near side, looking to throw it upfield and fires it underhand. It's going to should be an incomplete pass. They're going to call it a fumble. What are they going to call it? Incomplete pass? I think DeRocher had more time back there than he expected.
Yeah, I think he could have gotten at least out to the outside and maybe kicked one off. But either way, still deep enough in Middlebury territory now.
So not quite what the Bob White squad was looking to dial up when they recovered that fumble. Able to burn off a couple of minutes on that series, but 4:53 remaining here for the Tigers. Down by 10 points. They need a touchdown and an onside kick.
Yeah, it looks like they might have Daniel back out there at quarterback, so you got to wonder if they're maybe going to try and go with the misdirection option plays to not completely sell out for that pass.
Thomas Daniel back up under center. 2 receivers set here to the near side. Rolling here to the near side under heavy pressure. Picks up a nice block, though. Now racing line. He'll take a hit. Stays on his feet, though, and wraps up after a pickup of 3. DeMar wasn't able to square up his tackle on him.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of just tried to do like the NFL cornerback, just shoulder check him, and Daniel ran through it.
Daniel too big of a player to do that too.
And that's going to be key for BFA, is not letting him get to the outside, because he has shown that he can, in space, get out there. Does look like he's a little bit hobbled right now, so I'm going to be curious to see if he's not running as well. He's definitely hobbling back to the line right now as Daniel.
4:15 remaining. Thomas Daniel under center. 2 receivers set here to the near side. There's a snap. Quick pitch over to the far side of the field to Lucas. And minimal gain, going to be short of the first down. Sets up a 3rd and 3. Again, time not on the Tigers' side. Under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
If you're BFA, you'll give up those 2-yard runs, even if it turns into a first down, just to chew as much clock out. And right now you can see Daniel just going to the line. He's hobbling, so you got to wonder how much is that going to affect him passing if he can't plant on his feet and toss one downfield.
4 receivers set. Thomas Daniel hobbling over to the far side, under pressure, fires it in the air, has his man open for the first down. Picked up 7. They'll move the sticks. Jordan Martin, the 6'1" senior, his first catch of the evening.
And Daniel took another hit right there, so he's getting roughed up out there right now.
3:24 clock. Continues to run. Bobwhites with a 10-point lead. 4 receivers set for the Tigers. Thomas Daniel hobbles under pressure, steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. 2-yard loss on the play. Looks to be number 40 for the Bobwhites. Frady's on the sack.
And the thing is, right there, BFA only sent 3 men. They sold out for the pass right there. BFA sent 3 men and still got the sack there, so good job by that BFA front.
Yeah, usually say you only send 4 men, and if you get a sack, that's great. 3 is just like extra special.
Yeah, that's exactly all you can ask for. I mean, it doesn't look like they have straight linemen in there. You got Frady's in there. You got Cam Bailey. He's doing a good job getting pressure right now on the quarterback, just setting 3 still.
Again, Thomas Daniel, not a whole lot of mobility out there right now. Now he races here to the near side. Under pressure, gets it up, and it's tipped and incomplete. Incomplete, almost intercepted. Ball hawking there for the Bobwhites, I believe, with Thomas DeMar.
Yeah, and even though Daniel's getting this pass off, he's not having a lot of time. He's getting hit on every play.
And that was DeMar getting a hand on the football there on our Northwest Access TV replay. Clock will stop with the incompletion. 2:22 remaining in the fourth quarter. If you're just tuning in, it's the BFA Bobwhites with a 17-7 lead.
And it looks like Middlebury subbed in. It's Finn Whitlock at quarterback right now, number 18.
Good catch, Anthony. Whitlock under center. 4 receivers set. Whitlock under heavy pressure, scooting out to the outside, trying to turn the corner, and he does, and steps out of bounds. Stop the clock, maybe a pickup of 3 on the carry with 2:14.
That's about all he could do. Pressure from Frady's right off the back. Frady is doing a phenomenal job out there, especially with James Harrison on the sideline right now. Frady's is causing so much pressure from the nose guard spot.
4th and 7 for the Middlebury Tigers. This may be their last chance this evening.
And you got to give a lot of credit to BFA secondary, not letting any guys get open and forcing the quarterbacks to hold on to the ball.
Motion in the backfield. Play action pass rolling here to the near side. Stepping up, firing it high, deep downfield, and incomplete. No flags on the play, and the Bob White defense holds once again.
Yeah, and Middlebury just really having to go through some sort of their entire roster at quarterback. That was Nick Lucas at quarterback right there. So just really trying to find anybody who can get a ball downfield, and nobody's really been able to get any sort of passing game going for Middlebury.
2:06 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Bob Whites with a 10-point lead, which would be an impressive victory here at home against the 2-0 undefeated Middlebury Tigers.
Yeah, and a lot of people had Middlebury as a top team in the state coming into this game. So for BFA to go down to Hartford last week, go toe-to-toe with them, and then come out with this big win, I mean, it just speaks so much about what that defense did today, being able to hold Middlebury to 7 points so far.
Tight formation here for the Bob Whites. Montang in at quarterback. Handoff straight ahead to number 44, Sean Beauregard. He'll pick up a couple. You're right, Anthony. I mean, for whatever it's worth, I mean, the Burlington Free Press does have their kind of power rankings in many sports, including in in high school football. And they had Middlebury as the best team in the state as of this week.
Right, and they, as you mentioned, they didn't have them get up a point, and their defense has played well today. I mean, they've really given, their special teams has done them no favors. Really, the only time BFA has scored is when the special teams has put them inside their red zone almost. So their defense has played phenomenal, but just their offense has kind of been a little bit stagnant other than that second quarter, and special teams has been rough altogether.
Under a minute 30 to go. 2nd and 8, handoff straight ahead again to Beauregard. No gain on the play. Bob White's not going to have quite enough time, I think, to run out the clock. Let's see, 1:09 remaining.
Middlebury might get a play or two off if they just punt it off if they don't make this first down here.
Again, an impressive outing this evening here. We were, complimenting the Tiger defense this evening, Anthony, but how about this BFA defense?
Just phenomenal.
There's the snap. Montaigne racing around the near side, has all sorts of running room. He'll have the first down and more, and that's going to do it. He slides down at the 35-yard line. Alert play, Anthony, by the quarterback, Cole Montaigne, to stay in bounds.
Yeah, and you really got to give a lot of credit there. Thomas DeMar with a great downfield block to help kind of spring Montaigne. And as you said, just a great job sliding in bounds, getting the first down, and that's going to wrap up this game.
38 seconds. Clock restarts as they reset the sticks. Bobwhites head into their victory formation with under 30 seconds to go. Wondering if they have to snap the football one more time. Official says, one more time, boys. There's the snap, there's the knee, and that will do it. As the clock rolls down with 10 seconds, you can see the tremendous crowd on hand here at the Collins Pearly. It's been a couple of years since they've had an opportunity to see 11-man tackle football, and they're on their feet here celebrating the Bobwhites win over undefeated, entering tonight, Middlebury Tigers.
Yeah, just a great job by BFA in that second half. It seemed like going into halftime, it seemed Middlebury kind of took all the momentum, but BFA's defense stood tall at the end of the second quarter there to keep Middlebury out, and Middlebury never really got anything going in that second half at all. BFA doing a phenomenal job. Again, only got 68 yards, so I think they only had about 130 yards total offense, but their defense and special teams did such a good job pinning Middlebury in their own zone that they didn't need a lot of offense out there. Middlebury actually, again, in the defense for BFA, 44 total yards for Middlebury in that second half.
Wow.
So just did a phenomenal job. And again, they did a great job with that kind of next man up mentality when we saw James Harrison, who was probably their best defensive player out there today with Frady's on the sideline. So just a great job by BFA's entire team, special teams. I mean, you can't say enough about Seneca DeRocha with his punting, pinning Middlebury in as much as he did. So, I mean, this kind of shows how important all three facets of the game are, because where the offense was stagnant, defense and special teams was phenomenal out there for BFA. We knew all about both defense and special teams because special teams has had 2 scores coming into today, and defense has done a phenomenal job all year. So, the offense did enough out there, but really it's that defense and special teams that was just phenomenal for BFA.
So the Bobwhites carry the day. Again, we saw back in that first week how athletic this team is. A younger BFA team as well, by the way. So this team should be pretty competitive, Anthony, not just this year, but for the next few years.
And that's the thing, is if they can figure out how to keep drives going and, finish. I mean, they had a lot of opportunities in that first quarter deep in Middlebury territory where the offense just kind of was a little bit stagnant and really didn't do much. So if they could get that going, this is going to be a tough team to beat with that defense and with the special teams between Frady's kicking field goals and DeRocha at punter.
And the thing about certainly Jeff Murray coach teams, they always get better as the season goes. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. Again, it's not exactly where he wants it to be, certainly without a doubt. But again, it's repetition. They run the wing tee. A lot of these kids have been running that wing tee for years now. They're only going to improve as the season continues.
And that's something we saw in past years, especially in 2019, where those slow starts always seemed to hurt BFA, where the defense would always make big stops early on, but the offense just never bailed them out to the point where the defense kind of broke a little bit, and then that would always seem to be the difference. And in these big games against the big teams, it always seemed like BFA just came up short a few years ago, where this is a huge win for them. Obviously, like we said, last week Hartford's one of the top teams in the state, so coming away with a tough loss there, it was nothing to bat an eye at with how much they competed against them, and then coming in and really shutting down this Middlebury team. They had 155 yards in that first half, and really all that came in the second quarter. So really, BFA just had one bad quarter defensively, and then the other 3, they just shut them down, where they got really about 40 yards, 50 yards the other 3 quarters. So that just really shows how good this BFA defense was, especially showing them 5-man, 3-man front. Just did everything they could. Their pass coverage was phenomenal out there. So this team's definitely going to be run by the defense. And like we said, if that offense could kind of just pick it up, as you said, get better throughout the year and try to make teams pay for what their defense does for them, they'll be tough to beat no matter who they play.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Well, that will do it For Anthony Labor, I'm Tate Brooks. Again, the BFA Bobwhites come away victorious this evening, 17-7 over Middlebury. Thanks for tuning in, and everyone, have a great night.